So much of our lives, we have to pretty much fly our planes with instruments instead of visually. When you take off in a small airplane, if you're just learning how to fly, it's going to be visual. You look out the window, you steer the airplane kind of like steering a car. But that's not how you fly a commercial aircraft, and that's not how you fly when you fly into the cloud bank when you can't see out the window. And our lives are that way. It is so hard to stay the course, because the reality is, whether we're talking about our jobs or we're talking about our personal hobbies, things we just have on our list of objectives that we want to do, the truth is, so much of life is defined by feeling tired, feeling unmotivated, feeling like you're just a little bit lost in a fog. And so you have to begin. You have to say, this is what I was planning to do, and so I'm going to do it. And sometimes maybe that means that you sacrifice a little bit of sleep. Maybe that means that you feel tired, but you get up and you go do that thing anyway. I'll echo President Kennedy's words, we do these things because they are hard, not because they are easy. You don't have to feel like you want to do something in order to choose to do it. And a lot of things in life don't get easier necessarily, but we build that muscle of determination and discipline by continuing to override the temptation to give in to giving up. And then when you demonstrate backbone and you continue onward, then there comes a point where it stops being really, really hard. It's like getting up in the morning to go to work. I think there was a time when I was a child and I hated getting up really early in the morning because I was so tired and I didn't want to get out of bed and I didn't want to get out from underneath those warm covers and be in a cold room and have to do my schoolwork and other things I didn't want to do because my mother would get me up early and I would have to do my homeschool at that time real early. It just seemed so miserable and so hard. And it's the same basic thing when you go to work. But now I don't feel like it's so hard to get out of bed. I just do it. Because years of living have taught me there is no value in questioning, am I going to do what I said I'm going to do? I just do it. And probably on some level, the same feelings are there, the same desire to stay underneath the warm blankets and not get up, it's still there. It's just, I've come to an understanding that I'm going to do what I need to do either way. So I don't spend a lot of time thinking about it. And there's a lot of things in life that we want to do. It can be serious things, it can be fun things. But sooner or later, you're going to hit that wall when you just feel unmotivated. You feel like you're crushed underneath the burden of life's uncertainty and immensity. And you just want to stop pushing forward. It could be discipline to exercise more. It could be discipline to read that book that you have been saying you were going to finish for a long time. It can be a writing project. It can be a commitment that you made. It can be having faith that things will work out if you stay the course and continue to do what it was you originally set off to do. You just gotta begin. It's hard. But the thing is, once you start, it gets easier. Once you begin, then it's not so hard to keep the existing momentum and build off of it. There's a lot of people who start to have a certain routine in their life and then they stop, they give up, they take a break. Maybe it's a fitness routine or any number of other things. Maybe you've even noticed it when you take time off work, then you come back to work and it feels like you've forgotten a little bit of how to do your job and you have to relearn it a little bit, which is kind of weird because it's not like you didn't know how, but somehow it started to fade in just a week or two of not being there. It's the same thing with all of those other things that we want to get done in our life. We have to keep the momentum. We have to keep on going. You have to demonstrate fortitude in the face of a desire to give up, a desire to be tired, a desire to let off the gas and say, not today, I'll get around to it tomorrow. To say, you know what, I am going to do these things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. And the more you do that, the easier they get. It's good to challenge yourself. It's good to set a benchmark and then just keep on meeting that benchmark day after day. It has been said that if you really want to be an expert at something, you got to put in 10,000 hours. You put in 10,000 hours trying to get good at something, and you're probably going to wind up being pretty good at it when you're done with those 10,000 hours. But how many people want to put in that amount of time every single day, consistently coming back to the same thing and saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to keep doing this, and I'm not going to stop. You don't have to make huge amounts of progress immediately. You just have to make some progress every day. You have to keep on grinding forward just a little bit at a time. And that's the difference between looking out the window and just flying your airplane wherever you please and learning how to read the instruments, chart a course, and then you stay the course regardless of what you see or don't see out that window. We don't have time to waste. But we do have more time sometimes than we realize if we proceed to begin and we don't lose courage. So today we will close with that verse from Isaiah. They that wait upon the Lord will renew their strength, and they will mount up with wings as eagles, and they will run and not be weary. They will not faint. I think I missed a couple words in there, but that's the gist of it. I'm not a particularly religious person, and yet it still rings true. When you continue to renew your faith every day, when you act faithful even when you don't feel like being faithful, when you strive to create hope when you don't feel it, when you strive to be courageous when you don't feel courageous, then there comes a point when you're able to rise up above your problems and your life stops being defined by weariness, and instead it's defined by progress. Maybe not progress measured in big strides, but at least progress. Progress in some measure. And small things over the course of time do have a tendency to add up to things that are meaningful in the end. So don't give up. Set a course and then stick to it. And keep on coming back like a guy swinging an anvil and hitting an anvil with a hammer. You ever see that? Yeah, you get a rhythm going. And then you just keep that tempo. You keep on striking that metal until eventually it's molded to your will. Sometimes we give up because it doesn't seem like there's immediate results, and then we think, well, the results won't come. But there's a lot of things that don't seem to bear any results at all until suddenly they do. And then your life is immediately transformed. A lot of times things that really matter, they do take time and they don't bear immediate fruit, but they do bear fruit in their appropriate season. Good luck wherever your journey takes you. As always, till next time, thank you for watching.